Welcome back. You know, many people find themselves in a situation in life where they become a caregiver to someone. Well, at some point they may ask themselves, where is the caregiver for the caregiver? That is where Dave Nassaney comes in with some help for us. Dave, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Tina.
And you yourself found yourself in that situation in life.
Yes,
Tell me about that.
I didn't sign up for it. It wasn't on my resume, but one day, 21 years ago, I became a caregiver to my beautiful wife, Charlene, when she suffered a massive stroke. It left her severely speech impaired and paralyzed on the right side. And in that moment, I had something in common with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Hillary Clinton, the Fonzie, and Queen Latifah, all caregivers. I now host a popular iTunes podcast called the Caregivers Caregiver radio show, and I'm a best-selling author to my third book, It's My Life to Reclaim Your Caregiver Sanity. Now, during my National Book of Media Tour, I've done 21 morning shows just like this one. I've spoke at Harvard, sharing the stage with Suzanne Summers, and I'm speaking at NASDAQ in New York City in April. So it's just a sad situation that of the 65 million caregivers who are unpaid in the U.S., approximately 30% of them will actually die before their loved ones do. And the ones that don't die, you know, the lucky ones, well, they'll quite often become sicker than the ones they're caring for, eventually being hospitalized, needing a caregiver of their own. It's a sad situation. I quote Elton John, it's a sad situation.
Yeah.
And caregivers just make a lot of mistakes, and they don't know what they're doing.
Well, you're coming from a personal place, so you know the three biggest mistakes we should be avoiding.
Yes. The first biggest mistake to avoid is caregivers make a lot of mistakes when they don't put their needs first. Now, the airlines tell us every time we go on an airplane that an oxygen mask will fall. Put your mask on first before you help your loved one with their mask.
Right.
I mean, what an amazing metaphor for all of life. Take care of you first, not out of selfishness, but out of survival.
Yeah.
The second biggest mistake caregivers make, they don't know how to ask for help. Now, everyone has one of these.
Yeah.
It's called a cell phone.
Right.
You turn it on, you punch in the number. Hello, Mom, I need help. Grandma's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Call your mother, call your sister, call your wife's ex-husband, call anybody, but get over that silly notion that if you can't do it all by yourself, you're a failure as a caregiver. Third biggest mistake caregivers make is they let people pile guilt on them like they're stacking pancakes. Remember that show back in the 70s? It was about a caregiver who was caring for his elderly father in the junk business. It was called Sanford and Son. Well, Fred Sanford was notorious for guilting his son Lamont into doing all sorts of cockamamie harebrained schemes.
Right.
Had no business doing. He was undeserved guilt. Went something like this. Oh,
Yes.
it's the big one. No, son, really, it's the big one. Elizabeth, I'm coming to meet you, honey. And Lamont would fall for that con every single time. And caregivers are the same way. It's kind of like being handcuffed to your loved one for the rest of your life, a prisoner in your own home. And what's a caregiver do?
Yeah.
Well, they're to care.
And that comes to your acronym that
Yes.
helps us remember.
Yes. Communicate with your friends. Don't isolate yourself. Caregivers need a life outside of caregiving. A, ask for help and be specific. And for goodness sakes, when help is offered, don't turn it down. R stands for rest. Caregivers need 8 hours rest every single night. The average one only gets 2 or 3. I can't survive on 2 or 3 hours, can you? And the E stands for eat healthy, nutritious foods. Don't eat junk food. Junk food's got sugar and chemicals and processed ingredients. All that stuff will kill you. And so that's why I wrote my book, to save caregivers' lives.
Yeah. And I know I'm going to tell them where they can go to take a quiz and, of course, get more information through your books. But, Dave, this was a great reminder for a lot of those caregivers that need a little bit of care themselves. And I love that you're coming from a personal place when you're telling that. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, log on to caregiverscaregiver.com and take the Are You a Candidate for Burnout short quiz to receive a free copy of the Overcoming Unbelievable Hardships ebook. All right, up next, you can spend an afternoon in Spain without even leaving Tucson. Find out how Arizona Opera League of Tucson is making this possible after the break.